One of the winningest softball coaches in JUCO annals, Celeste Knierim, made Merrimack Community College a national power. Her teams won more than 1,000 games during her tenure from 1974 through 04. They annually competed for national championships. She is a proud St. Louisan, having graduated from Roosevelt High on the south side of the city and playing sports for the Rough Riders. She then graduated from Northeast Missouri State and started her long and distinguished career playing and coaching softball. When Merrimack Community College called her about coaching the team, she took the opportunity to return home, answering that call and embracing a celebrated life in softball. Merrimack finished in the top 15 nationally 7 times, and Knierim helped to create a winning atmosphere that fostered the development of 45 All-American players. She previously was enshrined in the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame and the JUCO Region 16 Hall of Fame. Please welcome to the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame with your applause, Celeste Knierim. Conducting our interview is Steve Porter. Congratulations to Celeste.
Well, good evening. It's a pleasure to be here and a privilege to interview a St. Louis softball legend in Coach Celeste. Now, Coach grew up on the south side of the city, so this is like a homecoming for you tonight, isn't it?
Very much so. Very proud of this because I grew up in South City. Like he said, I went to Roosevelt, and it's like coming home.
And you got a rousing applause over there from your group.
I do. I have a lot of players here from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s.
Is there anybody you'd like to recognize or acknowledge from that group?
Well, they're all family. You know, and I have close friends over there. Sue, Laurie, Jack, and the rest are all family. That's my players.
You guys stand up?
Can my players stand up?
You made a lot of noise. Good to see you here tonight.
And those of you that coached with me, that came back and coached, stand up and raise your hand. Raise your hand.
Good to see you guys. Now, when you went to high school at Roosevelt, there weren't a lot of opportunities for women, right? In fact, Roosevelt didn't even have softball. What did you play at Roosevelt?
Field hockey, basketball, volleyball, and ran track.
But softball was your first love, so you played in
college.
In college, and you went from Roosevelt to Northeast Missouri and Kirksville.
Correct.
And had a good college career. What were some of the memories you have from playing at Northeast Missouri?
At Northeast, well, I played field hockey, volleyball, and softball, but it was camaraderie and travel and everything.
And there was a day at Northeast when somebody contacted you, didn't they, about a job at Merrimack, and you thought about it, didn't you, taking that softball job at Merrimack? Well,
actually, I was a grad assist getting my master's, and I was with the basketball team at that time, and we were at the state tournament, and I met the coach, the basketball coach from Merrimack. And we talked, and I said, I'm a grad assist, I'm a city kid from St. Louis. And she said, you should apply for my job because I'm retiring. So I did, I applied for the job. Bob Murray, the great Bob Murray, who was a big basketball person in St. Louis, offered me $500 to coach the basketball.
$500?
Coach the basketball team. And being a city kid, that was like the world to me.
And there was no negotiation on that. You couldn't say, I want $550.
No, I didn't know we could negotiate back then.
But you wanted to coach.
I wanted to coach. And it was basketball, which was probably my 4th favorite sport. And he let me start field hockey, and he let me start softball.
Now, what was softball like at Merrimack when you first started it? What were the conditions?
I started the team. So
there
was no softball team.
You started from scratch.
I started from scratch, yeah. And got lucky with some of the players. One of the players back there, Vicki Schneider, was on one of the first teams where we had, it was pretty funny, the first 2 years we played fast pitch and slow pitch. because there weren't enough fast pitch teams in St. Louis, you know, that were
Right.
playing to have enough for a schedule. So we played slow pitch one day, next day we played fast pitch.
And then Merrimack turned into a power. I don't know if it was overnight, but Merrimack became the JUCO softball power in St. Louis,
Yep.
the team to beat. Who were some of your rivals back then in St. Louis?
Most of my rivals were the national teams, the nationally ranked teams like the Arizona teams and Illinois Central, Lake Michigan College. We always had a tournament. They had a tournament. Lake Michigan had a tournament, and all of us played in each other's tournaments. We took the kids starting in, 78 maybe, well, we went to Texas the first time, first spring trip, and drove all the way to Texas to play, and it rained the entire week.
And you weren't afraid to play in. We played a lot of four-year schools. You played a lot of national powers.
Yeah. We always went to Arizona after that because not as much rain as Texas. But that's where the powerful junior colleges were. So we would always go down our spring trip. We'd walk out of the gym, you know, from practicing because it was cold here. They'd already played like 30, 33 games. And we won enough. We won enough. We didn't
You
win
won
everything.
enough. You won more than 1,000 games.
Well, yeah,
Coach
but I mean in
America.
Arizona, we took our licks, but we learned from it. And I'll stick by that every time. You play the tougher teams and you learn.
Not only did you win 1,000 games, you won your conference, I think, every year?
25 of 26.
25 of 26 years.
Yeah.
Wow. And then you're a perennial powerhouse in the Nationals, right? You finished in the top 10 a number of times and made so many appearances.
Yeah, we were in the top 10. We were there 16 times. We were in the top 10 15, and we were 11th that 16th time.
Wow. What are some of your favorite memories from, I imagine there's so many, but do you have a couple of favorite memories from those teams?
You know, the kids. That's my favorite memories from all the years. You know, all those kids coming back, and I call them kids still.
It was sort of like your family, wasn't
They
it?
are. We are a family. I mean, and we always say that the Merrimack softball team is a family. I don't care if you played in the 70s, 80s, 90s, or after 2000, you're all family.
And that family produced, what, 45 All-America players?
I think it was 45 All-American
That's
players.
unbelievable.
And a lot of all-region, a lot of all-conference. Yeah. They, I just loved coaching at Merrimack. You know, even though they were only freshmen and sophomores, I had opportunities to go to a four-year school, but I didn't want to leave the freshmen and sophomores.
Well, you were St. Louis through and through.
I was a St. Louisan. You could also scare the freshmen and sophomores more than the juniors or the seniors.
What did you stress as a coach from your players? What were the things you wanted them to do?
Repetition, repetition, repetition. We hit to them. You know, teaching, we taught a lot, taught them every little aspect of the game, offensively and defensively. We went to watch teams. When we went to Arizona, we would go and watch some four-year schools if we could, you know, to see what they were doing.
And you stress fundamentals, obviously.
Oh, fundamentals, big time. Yeah, fundamentals, every little aspect of the game.
Did you have a favorite, like fundamental or play or something that you worked on?
We were run and gun. We were run and gun. Love to steal, love to bunt, love to slap.
Put the ball in play and put the players in
ball in play
motion.
and make them do it. I would read the defense. I could tell if a kid was going to get a bunt by the way their feet were. If their feet were pointed out, we were going to bunt. If their feet were pointed in, that's an athletic stance. So if their feet were out, we were bunting because they're slow.
And even though you retired in 2004 at Merrimack, you're still involved in softball. You've made it your life's work, so to speak.
Yes, yeah. Vicki Schneider is out there, run the St. Louis softball showcases out in Chesterfield. Write articles for Jugs, hopefully finishing a little pamphlet on youth softball.
And you set up and run tournaments. I heard you talking on the phone, getting
showcases, yeah.
hotel rooms and getting everybody
Right.
used to playing softball in St. Louis.
Right. Yep.
Well, what a life it's been in softball for you.
It's been great. It's been fun, and seeing the kids year after year, even when they come back and they bring their kids. That's what it's all about.
A life earned softball and a great life in it.
Yep.
Well, thank you,
sir.
Celeste. Let's welcome
you, sir.
our newest St. Louis Sports Hall of Famer, Celeste Knierim.